to us, they're family. You know, and everyone that works in the yard knows that. No matter how much you tell yourself you're not going to get attached, you fall in love with every single one that you have anything to do with, even if they're naughty, like Bean. There was no initial, oh, who are you? You know, because it was just, I try not to fall in love with them because I'm not supposed to. Dad's very keen on us not getting too attached because at the end of the day, if an owner chooses to sell them or they're moved on, it's harder. So I'd said to myself, I won't get attached. And actually Mum rode him initially for the first 2 years of his career here. Mum and our apprentice Jane and I would gallop him, and that was it. And then he nearly buried Mum quite astronomically one day, and I took over. It was only when he got onto the heath the first day, and Jane, our apprentice, who's a very good rider, she's now in America, rode him out, and he was quiet as a lamb. And so, you know, you were like, great, crack him, we've got a nice quiet one. It was day 2 that he picked up a little bit, and Jane had an argument with him because he wanted to go one way and she wanted to go the other, and he won. And then day 3, he was even worse, and she was like, Jesus, guys, what have you bought? He was galloping with some of our best horses and really showing them up, and we were like, oh, we've got a steal. And then a friend of a friend said, I'll buy him, but I can't pay for his fees, which is how the Bean Club eventually came about. And so we got him paid for and we ran him, and we realised very quickly that what he does at home is not what he does at the races. To them, they don't know the difference. You know, that's what's quite nice about him. He thinks he's Frankel. He's no idea that he's rated 57 on a good day, and he's not really beaten anything of note ever. He's been a lead horse for the entire 5 years I've ridden him. He loves being in front. He's actively moody. If you put him in behind, he's like, oh. He gets just really like, the ears go back. He's walking along very much like, I don't want to be here. And he doesn't behave any better either. So, but his whole job right now is looking after Ropey Guest, aka Chubby, and keeping him safe. So if a string comes at us and they're a bit too close, I use Bean to wash them over. Well, I was sort of tweeting a note from my own Twitter account. That's how it really began. Of sort of the things he'd done that morning. I'd be like, oh, there was a plastic bag on the heath, nearly died, you know, just me being naturally quite dramatic. One of the first mornings I filmed, jeez, he gave me so much content. It was just chaos. And it eventually became sort of a daily post of what he'd done that day, whether it was going out or whether it was going to the races, or yeah, it just became a little snippet of his day-to-day life. American and Canadian and Australian followers just started sort of seeping in. It was crazy. He's very well loved. He gets birthday cards, he gets Valentine's cards, he gets Christmas presents. It's wild. The plan is, I've got 2 sort of options that I've thought of, but he will be, you know, going out very much, find a nice big field for him, and he'll have a friend. So he will be a happy hacker. Whether he'll be more happy than I will about the hacking. I'd imagine I'll be doing a lot of clinging on for dear life. But yeah, hopefully I'll continue to ride him and just keep him sort of toddling along. And wherever he goes, obviously the Bean Club and anybody who ever wants to visit him is welcome to do so, because I want to be able to keep that going because he's got so many people that love him. I mean, they've given me, Bean especially, has given me my career in reality. He sort of pushed me into the social media side of things, and that has given me a job, which is why I can afford a mortgage. So, you know, without him, I wouldn't have had that. And then Spirited Guest, aka Jimmy, gave me the best day of my life when we won at Ascot, you know, and I can't thank them. They don't know that we're saying thank you and what that meant to us. So in order to thank them, we give them the best possible life we can ever give any of them, and that's even the ones that don't win, you know. We've got one in the yard that shows plenty at home, and then he gets to the races and he just can't do it, and that's okay. We're going to find another option for him because he's not thriving, you know, but it's not his fault, and we will actively look for other ways to help him because they're to us, they're family, you know, and everyone that works in the yard knows that. No matter how much you tell yourself you're not going to get attached, you fall in love with every single one that you have anything to do with, even if they're naughty, like Bean.